Hello and welcome to Random Roleplay. I'm Deven of TRG Network, resident Tire Boy, and we are back with some more Planeswalkers greatness. So this one was a nerve-wracking one going into it because it was such an unplannable session. Between the 3 to 5 possibilities at the beginning of it and the several routes each possibility had, the session was relying a lot on improv and pre-existing plans. That being said, something to preempt you all with. Kobold informed me before the session that this wasn't going to be able to make his game on time, so I planned something with the ending of the previous session to make his absence work with the narrative. Rest assured, it works out well. That's not to say these things are bad things. In fact, just the opposite. It was these things that made it good. This entire arc, and the lesser so the path of the campaign, became unpredictable because of this session. Yes, this session has that much weight, and I didn't even realize it at the time. Only re-editing it did this come to my attention. But a neat little thing about this episode's ending scene was that it was entirely improv. Yes, who often touts how much thought and depth he puts into his writing. Honestly, better than I thought it would have been. So, now on to this week's hint. Quoted statement from this episode, the hint. I'm sure the courts would not see it that way, considering you are responsible for your own merchandise. Keep that line in mind. But without further ado, y'all, rambled long enough. On to the show. And so, we return to the 9th life here in the commercial city of Beautisol. And the party, in the form of Cassius the Tiefling, Arudim the Half-Orc, Naleek the Half-Elf, Crantor the Gallataur, Deis the Lamian Elf. Last we left off, the party spent some time indulging in jewelry and other accessories that seemed magically charged, successfully bargaining their way to a necklace of Misty Step that topped the list of many magical items they acquired. After the group gets done Glitterfingers, Deis makes her way back to the tavern and drinks some brunch and coffee. The rest of the group, looking to invest in some armor and weapons, ask around, but ultimately end up heading to the 9th life despite their newfound feline-based stigma. Their minds slowly change, however, as the atmosphere and workers were much greater than their expectations. As Cassius invests in some Moradin-based scale mail, Crantor gets the courage to try sending for the first time. Afterwards, Naleek indecisively purchases an animated shield, but as he attempts to put it in his new bag of holding, gifted by Jortix earlier, Naleek is sucked into the bag practically in an instant. And so, before anyone really has time to react, Arudim will have already dove onto this bag, like he knew what it was, jamming his arm into the bag all the same, and in an instant, he gets sucked in too. I imagine, just as Crantor or Cassius look to react, Dreamlake, the tabaxi, is already swiping up through the bag in half, and the bag implodes. I want you guys to imagine as if this happened in an initiative count before your turns, as to explain the sudden action amongst everyone, as both Arudim and apparently this tabaxi are extremely speedy. But you are left there, standing with Dreamlake, and Naleek and Arudim completely gone. The bag imploded as it was slashed in half.
What? Oi, what the hell was that?
That was saving their lives. The tabaxi, he looks up with like a wide-eyed, panicked look on his face. That was a bag of devouring. And I guess your orc friend knew what it was, because the only chance your friend had was either getting pulled out of that thing or it getting destroyed. And it seems your friend couldn't pull him out, so they may be on the astral plane, but they're alive.
You happen to know a way to locate them, mate?
Sorry, that's not exactly my field. Saw they were going to be consumed into nothingness, and this is a very devious item. Where did you get this?
What was it? Jortix Glitterfingers? It was, I believe.
Dreamlake puts his hand over his mouth in shock. Oh, he wouldn't. Me and Jortix, we have a bit of a rivalry, but I wouldn't think he'd ever stoop to something like this. This is...
You would not believe the things I've seen people do in the name of rivalry, mate.
This is like putting... You put salt in my water. This is the extent of our issues. He has more negative words than actions. And Dreamlake kind of starts pacing up and down the aisle the armor currently is resting in, looking back and forth at the spot that the bag imploded in. Can any of you contact your friends? Perhaps they can make their way through the astral plane back to Celestia.
Well,
Yes.
Yes, I can, but I just used all of that for today before this happened. Literally moments before this happened.
Oi, Crantor. What about our new friend?
You would probably be able to help with this, yes.
I think he means Deis.
I know.
Oh. My bad. I didn't recognize.
You're getting ahead of yourself, Advy.
Cassius will walk over and he'll just kind of eye the scraps that are on the floor.
Oh, there are no scraps. The bag imploded.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the best thing we can do, Crantor, is try to get hold of Deis.
And go have a talk with Glitterfingers. By the way, where are your axes? I need a new one.
Oh.
One more deadly.
Ah. Oh, you see, that's actually just...
In the meantime, oi, Crantor.
It's just about 2 floors up.
And if we can't find anything, Cass will summon his packed weapon as a battle axe and just hand it over. If need be, I got you covered, mate.
Crantor will just grunt and nod at that.
Well, you get armed. I'm going to go find Deis.
This is not how I expected.
Bring her here so we can discuss. I'm sure she's had dealings with these before.
Let us not forget Cassius has the city secrets.
Oh.
I can get around.
Well, because it really is it's more or less a straight shot, so you're going to just fly there. You're probably just going to dip right over the top of...
Naruto run.
I just have the feeling that he knows how to just okay, people are there. My optimal path is this way. All right, pirouette around this guy. He just kind of bobs his way through the crowd.
Studying Arudim. You bolt through the city streets more or less on your way back to the Silver Swords Tavern. And I'll say in the meantime, Crantor, you not take much effort to get up to the 3rd floor of the night. Pretty much be able to walk up the wall to get to the wall. Actually, that's the only way you can go up to a higher floor. Well, I suppose if you're just looking to purchase a weapon, and I start rhyming more or less just because it's less jarring for him personally, but I imagine Crantor just kind of steps 1 foot and just Eloys up the side of this wall.
Eloys, yes.
That was the cartoonish way they flavored Eloy walking up the sides and stuff. So he just stepped onto the wall and just started walking up it like a spider.
For those who need a visual reference, Skyrim horses.
Yes.
As you come up into this room, you notice that it's slightly smaller, but still the room glistens of that powder blue marble and glowing chains that have, of course, several weapons hanging from them that illuminate the room. There are still racks and the walls lined up with various meaning. You see one row, it has battle axes, great axes. You see one row have long swords, great swords, and so on and so forth. Kind of generalizing.
He's ignoring the toothpicks.
So you go on to the axes and start scanning up and down them.
Yeah, 2-handed great axes. What do we got for me? The most biggest and deadliest and most evil-looking one.
Are you specifically having to point out the great axe? Well, funny enough, you see the first one that jumps out to you is a great axe that looks very similar to yours. You can tell that it's a Venian great axe, much like your own, just not crafted by Naleek personally. It's probably crafted by someone who's honestly a little bit better at making weapons, or at least a little bit more familiar with making weapons. It's a little bit more refined around the edges. The wood seems to be patterned on it a little bit more appropriately, so you can discern what is blade from handle and so. But
it doesn't have the nice touch of being from Naleek.
So moving on, next the next one catching your eye is one that's actually right next to it, almost as if to demonstrate the Venian wood's power. A flaming axe. It looks like a regular metal axe, but there is a subtle flame just emanating off of the blades of the axe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Flame bite, dubbed by its former owner. A great axe, the properties of a flame tongue, great sword.
Is a good name. Tell me about the non-metal one, though.
This
is it Venian?
One, precisely. It is made of Venian wood from the halflings that reside on the layer itself. Halflings who, once upon a time, decided to set out on a voyage to the lower layers and, well, to a few other planes. Ultimately, set up a trade deal. So, here they are. There are several other Venian weapons. Up and down, we got Venian daggers, great swords, lances, pikes.
Thanks for a second about a lance.
There's also a Venian great hammer, great club.
I've typically been a slasher. But
another one. It depends. How in control of your temperament are you? Because you are very calm now, but looks a very large and intimidating individual.
Thank you.
Do you trust your temperament?
Most days I trust my temperament. I'm typically in control of myself. I was a paladin, so...
You know what? Good enough, because I've had one of these axes for the longest time, and I think it's perfectly fitting for you. I'm going to lead you down the hallway a little bit, point upwards towards a display. In that display case, you're going to see what looks like a slightly bronze axe, very thick handle with a hoop at the end, and has 3 central gems in the center in between the blades of the axe. Atop it is something that eerily looks like a D20. This has been dubbed the Berserker Axe, but every person I offer it to tends to turn their nose up at it.
Why?
I have no idea.
Is it your sales pitch?
It might be my sales pitch. Looks back, like, not offended, but like almost like he just had a realization. Do you think the halo is a little too creepy?
It's a bit ostentatious.
You're right. I feel like sometimes it comes off too strong, like, look at how much of a good creature I am in Celestia. Yes.
Right, you're already surrounded by the good, you don't really need it. It's just dressing.
You're right. And he just grabs the halo and then just takes it and puts it in his back pocket. The halo that was floating over his head.
Love it. The back pocket, his ass is just glowing.
Yep, you just see a subtle golden hue coming from his back end.
Fabled ass of gore. Anyway.
I was saying. But yes,
I
sell it only for 8,000 gold, or your coin, 800 platinum.
What makes it a berserker axe?
Would you like me to identify?
Yes, please. So I can know what I'm getting. That might also have been why you haven't sold it, if you haven't identified.
You know what? Nobody has ever had me identify it, so I never bothered.
We're just making all sorts of discoveries here. You should just make me the assistant manager here.
I wouldn't go that far. I had to work a while before I became assistant manager.
Rumbles in here, loses breath. The real question is, how does he even know what an assistant manager is? Being a nomad, a tribal nomad.
You notice he doesn't play any games. You hand him the 10 platinum, cast the spell. He doesn't ritual cast, he casts the spell. You are worth his spell slot. Good customer.
Damn right.
Oh, I see. This is a cursed axe. When you attune to it, the curse extends to you. Oh, yeah, you'll become really attached to it.
Does that mean it swallows my hand or something? What does really attached mean?
Oh, personally attached. You will be unwilling to part with it, keeping it within reach. Probably not be able to fight with any other weapon besides this one. What I'm going to do, I'll be right back. And he just, bloop, disappears.
Oh no.
Bloop. A few feet away from him, a few feet away from where he disappeared holding a scroll. Oh, I was a little off. That would have been bad if it was in the other direction. And he walks up. There's a scroll of identify. Now you can identify it. That way you can see completely for yourself, because it's a lot, and I don't feel like I would make it sound any more flattering. And he kind of like has a look on his face like, oh man, I ain't selling this thing.
Well, we did just deal with another cursed object about a minute ago, so...
That wasn't a cursed object. That was a deceitful object. That was specifically designed to look like a bag of holding, but in fact to be a death trap. I still have a hard time believing that Jortix. Honestly, if this situation hadn't happened, I would have probably been making snide remarks at the mention of it. I want to say...
He was very insistent that we take it free. A merchant giving something away for free is always suspicious.
To clarify, the idea was he gave it to you free because he meant to give you guys a heavy discount on an item if you guys bought enough stuff. But he realized you guys already made all your purchases, so he's like, here's just a bag of hold.
It came across like he was just trying to really make sure.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from, because he was very like, I almost want to say dodgy. He was just trying to thumb it off on you.
Seemed a little sus, is all I'm saying.
That seemed a little sus. If this was Among Us, he'd probably be the imposter.
There was an imposter. It was an imposter bag.
It was the imposter's bag.
Ooh, fair.
So yes, you use the scroll of identify, you cast the identify, and here it is.
Ooh.
And as soon as you look up to him after using the spell, he'll go, 500 platinum?
400, and it's a deal. I'll roll persuasion. I'll do it.
Do it.
Look at them Gallataur eyebrows.
Right. 16.
Deal. He puts his hand out, starts mage handing the weapon off the wall. And so if you put the
Just-
platinum in his hand, then...
Yep, he will. I'll have him just mage hand it onto my back on the opposite side of the other.
Oh, the one axe is on your side, I thought.
Yeah, no, it's the. I've got them on both of them on my back.
Oh, okay.
Usually when I'm not.
Okay.
Now I just need to get the dual wielder feet.
Oh, going out. That's Cassius's thing, man. He just went, what if Crantor were Cassius?
And no spells, apparently. And with that, he'll go down to the front of the store to wait.
Yeah, so no, you'll start heading down, and Cassius, you'll be just walking into the Silver Swords Tavern. You'll see Deis just over on the counter. Place only has a few people in the corners. You'll actually notice the one table of sailors, the sailor half-orcs and the quickling, are in the corner table that you and Arudim briefly sat at. But you walk back up to the counter, I suppose. I won't narrate what you... Deis is at the counter.
And she is surrounded by cupcakes, all kinds of goodies to go with a latte.
It's a breakfast.
And she's literally, she's floating them around her, taking a bite from here, bite from there.
Oh my god, it's Bakery Nouvelle.
The sailors are disgusted at her. Oh my gosh, they're so disgusted they're roaring in motorcycle.
How dare they?
But she does not have
language of the sailors.
She's not
the foghorn from SpongeBob.
She's not keeping the staff busy this time. Just has plates floating around her per bite.
So yeah, Cassius, all that pompousness going on over there.
He'll just kind of acknowledge the other people there, but doesn't really say anything. If anybody makes eye contact, he'll nod, but he'll make his way over to the counter and, "Oi, Deis, we got a bit of a problem."
Hmm?
Well, you remember that bag that the halfling gave us, all the rings and whatnot?
Uh-huh.
Right, it wasn't a bag of holding.
Uh-uh.
Arudim and Naleek are lost.
Oh dear. Can I roll an Arcana check to have an idea of what he's talking about? Or would she automatically know, given she's traveled?
Roll me an Arcana check. Great Arcana.
All right. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good roll.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, no, it immediately clicks. Oh, bag of devouring. They just got 8. If that bag wasn't immediately destroyed, then they're dead. They were consumed immediately. No remains.
She contemplates for a second. You see her thinking in the back of her head, like just, odds of survival. Did someone pull them out, or is the bag still intact? If so, they're dead.
Neither, actually. Naleek got sucked in. Arudim immediately rushed in to save him, and it sounded a bit like that, yeah. Oi, keep it down over there.
You're telling us to keep it down! The orc sits up, just not even realizing whether or not you're talking to him. He's just so ready to pop off at Deis' shit. You heard something from that direction. One of those, you just look over and that orc is just like standing up.
Does she notice him actually taking a stance at her?
This is a pretty empty tavern at the moment, so I think everybody in the tavern noticed that.
She will put the plates down.
Oi, Deis, we got bigger fish to fry.
Of course. Now,
we went over to we went over to the Ninth Life, the other place the others told us about, and that's where it all happened. The shopkeep there immediately responded and cleaved the bag in two.
Oh,
it imploded upon itself.
Oh, well, good news then. That was the correct thing to do. They're quite not likely not dead. So, bartender, I will pay the bill when I return. Actually, she'll put down a platinum. Here you go.
Yeah, he was like, no. Oh, okay. And then you just plop it on the table.
And it's not letting me click on the money because it's such a big number. There we go. It doesn't even show the whole damn thing.
I really do need to clear out some excess catch in this game, man. This is what I get for running 4 campaigns in one game. 1 full-length campaigns in this game.
Anyways. Alright, let us go to... Crantor's still on this plane, correct?
Yes, he's over at the shop still getting rearmed. His axe as well.
Alright. In that case, let me...
I've got him with my packed weapon for now, just in case. By the way, I'm a warlock.
I assume so.
I've got him with my packed weapon now, so he's not completely unarmed. But for the time being, we should probably head over there. Do you happen to know the sending spell, by the way?
I didn't put that one into my memories today. You know, being in a town with... Didn't really need it. And besides, even if we did, it can't go past separate... Oh no, it can go different planes, I believe. Yes, it can. But I do have something, and we might as well do that right now while it's nice and peaceful before... Let's see, I'm just going to check, see how long that spell takes. And it takes 1 minute. So yeah, let's head to Crantor, and I believe I do have something today that might be of use.
Well, I can get us there quick. Just follow me footsteps. He looks down. Sorry, that was crass. Just follow me.
So Deis doesn't have the spell prepared then.
She does not have sending prepared today, but she does have augury.
Wait, it's clicked on your sheet.
No?
I see it.
Oh shit, I do. My bad. Apologies.
You're good.
So many spells. This is why I don't put everything on there.
No, that's why.
So retract it.
I just zoom over to the red dots first because those are the only ones I can use at the moment. You know, that's always my mind.
Okay, so retract that. Yeah, she does have that.
Okay, I was thinking, I'm like, oh no, this is not good.
Oh, anyway, she'll say we better go see Crantor. She does have it. Plus, she has augury.
Not sure what augury does, but I'll trust you that it's good.
We might find a way to be able to get them back easier. They're only on the Astrogeek.
I would appreciate that.
It just sways their way out of the bar, but she will turn, like, literally swivel just as she's going to the door, 2 fingers at her eyes, and just points to the orc, just watching you, and just flaunts out.
Excuse me? Stands back up. He had just sat down after his friends calmed him down. And then just quickly just zooms over in front of him, holding the hands up. Like, oh, no. You're so lucky. This is heaven.
She'll drag him to the roof with telekinesis.
Wait, what? You're going to cast... Oh, man, this...
She's had it active this entire time.
You can only target objects that aren't being worn with the Ring of Telekinesis.
I'm pretty sure I could target a creature.
The spell can, but Ring of Telekinesis says while wearing this ring, you can cast the telekinesis spell at will, but you can target only objects that aren't being worn or carried.
Oh, so it's different.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. She won't do that then.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Cassius will just be like, "Oi, mate, grandson of Zariel, trust me, you don't want any of this."
I want to imagine...
I've literally been to hell.
I want to imagine that happened in character, is that she just actually held out her hand like she was just going to use the telekinesis spell on him and then realized, oh, that's right, only objects. Well...
Cassius just says very flatly. He just says that very flatly. Once all that's done, looks at her, looks at him. Oi, I'm the grandson of Zariel. Trust me, you don't want any of this. I've literally been to hell and back, okay? Gotta go save my friend now.
What the
I
hell
suppose
are you doing?
She'll shove a chair into his gut and walk away.
Roderick comes out. Hey, calm down. Oh no, my patrons are leaving. What you do? He's yelling at the orcs. It's the best customer. Doors closed behind you.
I will remember that for later, that it's only target objects.
Yeah, my bad. I don't think I actually read the ring into your list. Like, in terms of, like, into your features. Yeah.
It's not a big deal. She's been kicked out of countries before. You think she cares about the tavern?
I'm pretty sure she wouldn't give a fuck about the tavern, but that would make it even more funny when everybody else was like, hey, we like that place. That's how we got here. But
be thankful she doesn't blow it up.
But yes, you guys continue
down the streets. So making your way.
Cassius does his hops to see, all right, crowd is in this formation. A little gap right there.
You will notice she is actually very agile and going through the crowd, like she was swimming.
Impressive.
Yeah, no, she's almost like slithering. She's finding her own path, keeping up with you as you're going. Well, not quite keeping up with you. Going through the city, as you obviously have the feature that lets you do this, but it's still, like you said, impressive. Swims through the sea of people, and you guys make your way back to the Ninth Live. As it is a very tall and distinct tower in this area.
It's a bit goddish, but...
Yeah, coming up, you'll very clearly see Crantor in his golden armor just out there, kind of holding a new big old... Well, not holding, it's on his back. You'll notice some new hardware as you approach him. Probably just whatever.
All right, so...
All right. So I guess I'll just call back my packed weapon and just dismiss it. And just for the time being, I'm going to summon it back as a longsword and stow it with my other blade.
At that. As you did that, a few individuals turned your way and noticed they all look like they're very much paladins in one way or another, be it knights or some other kinds. Not like in one specific group, but you'll notice like a couple of walking by knights, and then off with another group walking by is a paladin, and they kind of all just like looked over as if they felt your packed weapon come into existence.
If Crantor sees any of them lingering too long, he's just going to glare at them for looking at him.
None of them are like lingering. They just looked over it and checked it out for a moment, but then they kind of just didn't care. They kind of just shrugged it off as they kept on about their business.
Their divine sense started tingling.
That's literally it. That's literally what just happened. And they realized it's pretty much they turned around. Divine sense tingling. Oh, it's a tiefling doing tiefling thing. Whatever. Or angels doing
tiefling things.
They do in fact do that. Yes.
It's like, yeah, we're Azamar doing Azamar things. Let's just be about our business. We wouldn't want to be glared like that in the house. Yeah, we would be, though. Yeah, but we're above that.
I'm an Azamar paladin myself in my own right.
Okay, so, Crantor. Deis will be shouting across the crowd as she's making her way up.
Crantor will slowly walk over there with his new axe, just kind of strutting a little bit.
I've been appraised of the situation. I thankfully have the sending spell and the augury spells memorized for today. We'll need somewhere quiet.
Perhaps we could head back to the tavern and into one of our rooms?
That
Probably
might be
the best place to do.
Is there enough room for all of
there
us?
might be a little pissed off oak there.
Or Crantor just grabs his new axe. We could go to Jortix himself and have a conversation.
That was another option I was going to consider.
I like that option.
Now, do we know if this was intentional, unintentional?
We'll find out in the course of the conversation.
Very well. Should we send a sending spell to Arudim or Naleek first?
Yes, let's send one to either of them. Let them know that they're at least safe and retrievable.
Of course. Oh, it should not be too bad of an issue. I heard someone talking about a wizard here. If he has a high enough spell, we could just pop them back.
Might take some doing, but we could probably figure it out.
She opens her coin purse. Possible. All right. Shall we go have a little chat with our merchant friend?
Crantor will just lead on towards the shop, axe already out, looking like you do not want to get in his way.
Hopefully we don't have to use that, but, all things off the table.
Let's check sending, see what I can do with this. 25 words, and she's very familiar. It's a 5% chance, that's not too bad. So I'll need someone to do a word count, because I will be thinking of what to say, and it's easier if someone keeps track of the words. All right, so she'll cast sending to Naleek. Figure he's probably the less jumpy one. Naleek, this is Deis. Heard about what happened. We will fix the situation in short time. Do not panic. Keep yourself close to your Arudim as well as safe. We will keep in touch if there are any...
Safe was your...
Okay.
Roughly 45 seconds will pass, and you will hear a response from Naleek. Thank goodness someone sent the spell so I didn't have to stop focusing. We will make our way back on our own. Please continue on to Sig.
That's interesting.
What?
What's that, mate?
Well, it seems they're going to make their way to Sigil without us.
No. The implication is that they'll make their way back to Celestia.
Oh, right, okay.
Just continue about your business. They'll catch up with you.
They will make their way back to Celestia, it seems. We are to continue our journey to Sigil.
Are they all right?
It sounds like it. He said he was concentrating, so it sounds like he's probably working on a spell.
Well, if there's anything we've learned from Avernus, it's that we can trust the two of them.
They do seem capable.
Well, now that that's off my chest, and that I know my friends are alive, he looks to Crantor, and he gets that same smile he did outside of Fort Knucklebone, that same one where he challenged you. Let's say we have an interrogation, mate.
Speaking of off your chest, what's the current status of Cassius' shirt? Is it on? Is it off? I can never keep track. Is it in tatters?
No, it is.
What's happening with the shirt situation?
I believe 2 sessions ago, Naleek fully mended.
Okay. That doesn't mean he's wearing it.
He took it off with the armor on. Did he have time to put the shirt back on before the bag incident?
I do
Probably
remember
not, honestly.
I do remember asking if that happened. Well, actually, yes, you would have had the time because then afterwards, Naleek went through the whole deliberation of whether or not he should we should buy the shield or not. Remember how indecisive he was? So I feel like
Cassius is clothed.
Yes, yeah, you did specify that you were put the clothes back on because I essentially asked because I needed to know if I needed to redraw Cassius or not.
Right.
No,
you should probably just have 2 separate images just to switch between.
No, I'm not going to make you an NSFW Cassius. Stop it.
And
you heard it, fans. Get on the art. Full decked out portrait of him, abs for days.
All the abs, 10-pack.
Oh, no.
I mean, he doesn't have his strength of 20.
Cassius has no less than an 8-pack, whether Castor wants it to be or not.
Glitter fingers.
Yeah, so you guys are making your way through these glowing celestial streets of Beautisol, passing by knights, paladins of humans and halfling variants, occasionally see exotic race in the form of, say, an orc or a Goliath, or perhaps even a Firbolg you saw actually was in the tavern when you very first arrived on their way out.
Were they drinking tea?
Yes, they were drinking tea on their way out, in fact. Yes, they had to duck because they were really fucking tall. And so you guys continue to, once again, this round building with the cell games-like pillars framing it on 4 sides, labeled... Oh, I gotta go. Oh, God.
Jortix's rings.
Jortix, glitter fingers, glitter diggles,
glitter
jingling
fingers.
dangles. Oh, I gotta start over.
I'm not trying to say that.
Jortix, glitter fingers, glitter diggles, jingling dangles worth digging.
Gesundheit.
Okay, folks.
I love that Astro
time.
just broke out into cackle. Like, you don't get that out of Astro much. Oh, one more thing, though. As you guys are... Oh, no, never mind. You guys are looking up at the sign for a moment. You go to step in, and Crantor, as you're kind of behind the group, almost chaperoning them...
Oh, no, he'd be in the first. He'd be up front.
Okay,
he was basically on a holy crusade.
Okay,
digging
then
back
never
into those
mind.
paladin roots.
Actually, this will have happened shortly before you got to the building. You will have bumped into an individual walking, which has not happened yet. And they're in a fully black cloak. They do not stop or look up to you when they bump into you.
Yes, would like to insight that.
He'll stop for the briefest of moments. Does this figure seem familiar to me in any way, shape, or form? Possibly someone I met while I was here last.
Wake Scalebound from Chapter 1?
I will say...
What?
I will say, Deis, no insight check needed. I was going to say Arcana check, but I was like, no, I had to get the right word.
Yeah, she just wants to see if that was an intentional...
Oh, you can definitely tell that bump was intentional. And Crantor, the briefest of moments, you stop to look back, but as you go to step forward, you feel a crunch underneath you. And you look down and you see a rolled-up piece of paper. Very worn down, almost yellowish in hue, but is large enough to fit your hand.
He'll pick it up.
All right. I was asking, do you unroll the paper?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so you unroll the paper, and it's actually 2 papers. The first one...
Oh, God.
Yeah, there is text underneath it, if you want to read that instead of the actual... Probably easy.
Yes. I can't, my eyes cannot see that.
Don't worry, mine can't either. Even when it was fully loaded in.
Dear Crantor, son of the Stormbreaker, avenger of the Mythos, etc. After speaking with the elders of the Mythos Gallataur, Kosel has come to offer you a counter-contract. An opportunity to raise the tribe of Mythos Gallataur to prominence, and to help save them from being taken from underneath your leadership. Eyebrow raise at that one. You'll be tasked to going to Deis and acting on behalf of Vesnionza, where you will meet with a Gelogon named Vigthad. Here you will exchange 2 soul coins for an Outlandian diamond and 10 Garen. If you are met with any hostilities in this venture, it is your business to dispatch them, and you must not act in the name of Vesnionza in doing so. The exception to this ruling is if Vigthad or her troops attack you, in which case they must know you are acting under Vesnionza. Upon your completion of this deal, you must contact me, writing on the back of one of these pages, and will act as a sending spell, and we'll discuss what location you'd like to meet at. Kosel the Damning gives you his word that, upon signing this contract, you and your allies will be unharmed by Vesnionza throughout the duration of this contract, up until 24 hours after it is fulfilled. Upon completion, Kosel will inform you, in full, of a contract that he has made with the elders of the tribe that you thought was yours. Kosol advises you that you not go beyond this deal and confront them about it, as there is a god in hiding pulling the strings that you can't afford to tug on right now.
And the second.
Oh, what is this? Additionally, Kosol the Damning will sever the contract that he signed with Asbolus, Nessus, and Aureus of the Mythos Gallataur. Those fuckers. While Kosol can bear the consequences and deal with the wrath of this god in question, the contract was not made out of personal curiosity, but instead as leverage for negotiating with you, oh mighty Planeswalker. A zone of truth by a spellcaster of your choice is required to verify that the truth is being spoken by Kosol. However, Kosol looks forward to sharing this information, as he did not realize how closely the Gallataur were tied to the gods in the cosmos. If you sign this contract and fail to uphold your end of the bargain, then you, and blank, and Kosol the Damning will have a one-on-one private discussion about your ineptitude. Failure to comply at this point forfeits the safety of you and your loved ones. Additionally, you're hereby notified that not signing this contract will, within 7 days, will additionally forfeit the safety of you and your loved ones. You have 24 hours to notify Kosol the Damning of any modifications to this contract you'd like to negotiate, in which case he will rewrite the contract accordingly. Kosol the Damning looks forward to your response. Sincerely, Kosol the Damning XOXO. Postscript. Oh, and do give us a flex. It seems to like to do that.
You immediately realize you never once flexed in front of Kosol or in Fort Knucklebone.
Oh.
In frustration, he'll accidentally flex. Trying not to flex, he flexes harder.
Is something wrong?
Yeah, Cassius, you already know what's going on. You saw Arudim with this exact scene not 24 hours prior with his own act.
Is that who I think it is, mate?
Indeed.
I'm gonna turn and look to see if I can find a black-robed figure.
Roll me a perception check. Yes.
Can I look as well? Or no?
Sure.
22.
Yes, because a 22 doesn't get it.
Oh, you
Okay.
shitting me?
Okay. Oof, +2, come on.
Oh.
4.
With a 6, you see. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I got a 4.
Yeah, no, I know. A 4 plus 2, you said, right?
With my modifier.
Oh, a 4 with you.
So I got a 2 on the dice.
Oh, man. Damn. And Deis doesn't seem to be looking. So, because Deis doesn't know what you're looking for. I can't imagine she was paying too much. I don't know. That's Zelos' decision.
Not really.
Not really. There you go. Yeah, she's a little... I wouldn't say ditzy, but she's kind of off in her own world. 24/7.
Well, yeah, the worlds revolve around her. Why would she bother with the rest of them?
I am Sigil, don't you know? And that's when you realize Sigil is the friends we made along the way.
Half of which are currently in another plane.
In between planes, if you really think about it. Or outside of them, depending on your perspective. Astral plane's kind of weird like that. It's just space.
They're at the planar spa.
That's a friendly way to think about it. But yes, Crantor, you stand still checking out this guy. But you both looked back to go see that hooded figure, and they were nowhere in sight. For all you know, they could have disappeared the moment you stopped looking.
Crantor will just stuff it in his bag for now.
We've got more pressing things to deal with, mate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know what it said, but you're not dealing with it alone. A warrior never abandons its allies. Wording it in such a way to let Crantor know that, Crantor's not asking for help. Cassius is telling him he's getting help.
Crantor will understand and nod.
No. After you, mate. And he'll wave toward the door.
He'll walk in even angrier.
yes, you guys.
Axe already out and outstretched.
Yes, you guys continue on the few moments. Because like I said, you guys were a little bit farther away from the building when this would have happened. So you guys continue on towards the building, which is still in sight. It was relatively close. But yes, you guys continue on, and you just barge in through the door, and he's like, "Welcome to Jortix." Oh my goodness! What?
Crantor does not open the door.
I know.
He walks through the door.
And just. Oh my, bees start buzzing, squirrels come out, just whatever it was, go skitter it back in. You see little parrot in the opposite end corner of the bees. Wow, I just said it. I'm so bad with words tonight. What's going on? And yes, the parrot just starts going, intruders. Oh. And he just starts saying it in Celestial. The parrot.
Just fully straight marches right to him and just kicks him up by the scruff of the neck.
Oh my god, what's this about? Like, hey,
You done pissed him off,
don't
mate.
make me hurt you. I don't know what you want, but I can cast a spell on you.
Do we look familiar at all, mate?
Yeah, you guys were just here an hour ago, and now you're attacking me. What kind of celestials are you?
Notice the two are missing, mate.
Hey, your friends there.
They went through the bag you gave us.
Wait, what? You put them in a bag of holding? They're gonna suffocate.
Is the bird still screeching?
Yeah, the bird's been screeching the entire time.
She will fire an Eldritch Blast at the damn bird.
Attack it! Actually, roll 3.
I'm gonna insight his whole bag of holding thing.
Sure, just as you're checking it, go ahead. Roll me the insight while Deis rolls me the attacks.
Where's my
A 12.
Eldritch Blast?
I need 12. Your bag of holding, for all you know, dude's trying to keep up with an act.
Okay, that's not on my attack
And
list.
then right after that,
What?
oh, don't worry. I'm sorry. For some reason, I still did not put on everything on Deis' sheet. I am so terribly sorry. But yes, Eldritch Blast, we'll just say
And my spell attack is a plus 10.
24.
So yeah, 24,
No, it's 3 you last time. Yeah. Whether or not you want to, you shoot 3.
a 21, and a 22 at the bird.
The 3 force blasts just cave into that upper corner of the building, and there's only a single feather floating down and nothing else.
And there's the gods called on us.
She would like to be that her help action.
Okay, then roll again, Crantor.
Okay.
That was it. Oh. 21.
It is a 21.
21 squared. And, you very clear. What do you guys want? And he just starts sobbing in your hands, Crantor, as he's looking over
Deis.
where the bird, the remnants of the flower, or the remnants of the feather are. Just take whatever you want.
We're not here to rob you. We're here to get some answers. It wasn't a bag of holding. It was something else. And frankly, 2 of my friends are now lost. Deis, where'd you say they was? Astral plane?
Yes.
Yeah. 2 of my friends are now lost in the astral plane, mate, because of what you gave us.
Is that where Barrett is? Because then that would mean Barrett's still alive.
Oi. I need you to focus.
You just killed my friend!
I didn't, she did.
He was looking at
And I'll
Deis when he
do
said that.
more. And this Barrett, I take it someone else got swallowed by the bag?
Barrett was the parrot you just killed!
Oh, that makes sense. It's a good name for a bird.
You have sold 2 people a very dangerous magical item which has almost caused the death of 2 people. I do not think a bird constitutes as equal.
Look, can you put me down, man?
Lifts him higher.
Look, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know why you guys are treating me like this. You just came in and killed my bird for all I know.
Yes. Flex. Ultimate flex. Glaring at him while holding him.
Is this when my party turns evil? Holy shit.
No. This is what happens when we don't have Arudim to act as our moral compass.
I know. Arudim is our moral compass.
You don't you don't have Arudim or Naleek.
This is what happens when Cassius gets to be the moral compass. He's the one with the fiendish patron.
Right?
And the bird was annoying.
The bird was annoying. It was a great name for the bird, though.
Okay,
Barrett the bird.
character, though.
He's like, what happened to the bag of holding? Did you put another bag of holding in it? Or so you said they're in the astral plane. I don't know what happened.
When my friend opened it, it sucked him into it. And it sucked in our other friend when he tried to save him from it. And now they're in the astral plane because it was destroyed.
It's so hard to think like this.
Crantor, I have an idea. Put the lad down.
He'll put him down, but he will not take his hand off of his scruff.
Do you put him down on your side? Do you put him down on your side of the counter, on the counter, or on his side of it?
On our side of the counter.
Okay. And yeah, he just kind of slowly leans. Not really slowly. Actually, there is no real thought put behind it. He just scoots up against the casing of the counter, and he just kind of puts his hands together, and he just has a distraught look on his face as his hands are pressed together in front of his mouth, and he's just trying to process everything right now.
Crantor, you remember when we first arrived in Avernus, and you did that thing, and I could feel it, but I resisted it. But everyone else, what was it? It was that one that
Zone
you
of
used.
Truth.
Yeah, might be a
I
good
dropped
time
that
to use
spell,
that.
unfortunately.
Well, in that case, Cassius is going to walk over. He's going to lick his finger. He's going to cast Thaumaturgy to make his eyes flash and glow red. He's going to walk over to this halfling, and with his finger, he's just going to start drawing the glyph of Zariel on his forehead and casts Hex on him.
Ooh. Not sure that's a good idea in Celestia, but...
One of its abilities is I can make it have disadvantage on ability checks made with a chosen ability. I am going to Hex his charisma.
He's not even reacting.
And Cassius is...
He's shaking.
Do you remember when I said what I was, mate? A warlock? Do you know who my patron is? Aside from being my grandmother. Does the name Zariel mean anything to you, mate? You know, that Zariel? 2 of my friends are lost in the astral plane because of something you did.
I didn't.
Now I need answers. You gave us the bag. You told us it was a bag of holding. My first question is, do you not identify your magic items before you sell them?
Why would I do that? They're mine. They're given to me by
Because
my
it could be-
friend who acquires them and identifies them for me.
Your friend who gave you this bag, I'm assuming?
Yes. That's where I get all of my items. The rings you purchased earlier, the rings in the case now. The other bag. Go ahead and check the other bag of holdings. I'm not going to go anywhere. It's in the back door behind the counter. Everything
believe me,
very
with him-
tidily.
Believe me, with him having a hold of you, you ain't going anywhere.
I'm sorry.
Now, you say your friend identifies everything, but you, the purveyor, the one who sells it, the one who takes the coin, you don't. You just sell it on trust. Now, what happens if, per se, you sell a cursed item? Something that you are told is one thing, but is something entirely different.
That would mean that my best friend, 126 years, lied to me. Is that what you're implying?
Yes.
You're gonna kill them too?
I didn't say I was going to kill anyone yet. I said we wanted answers.
Yeah, and you're all becoming monsters to get answers from the person who can't give them to you.
Oh, I'm a monster now. Crantor just lifts him up again.
You should really pick your words a little better, mate.
Now, boys, let's let the man breathe for a second. Who might this friend be that gives you these wonderful little items?
You're asking for a name?
Where did this connection?
Okay,
Did he
there.
drop?
Oh, joined.
What's up, buddy?
Kobold?
How you feeling?
Oh, good, wonderful. I'm just in time to engage.
Yeah. Anyways,
Connectivity.
back to crying halfling who doesn't know what the fuck you're doing to him.
Now, did you
Crantor's
hear,
currently got him lifted up by the scruff.
Yeah.
did you hear me asking him who the friend was?
Yes. Sorry, I was.
Okay, just we lost sound of you.
Yeah, no, because I heard because I was lagging around, I guess, because I was jumping all over the place to go get it
Gotcha.
said name.
Wasn't sure if it got cut off. So yeah,
Belden.
who is the friend?
Where might we find this Belden?
Is he in some sort of village?
Belden is no. Belden doesn't reside here on Celestia often. Usually he comes to Heart's Faith, and I meet with him there. But we haven't seen each other regularly since I opened shop about 70 years back. Since then, it's just kind of been mostly helping me with trade stuff. But we go out and drink all the time, man. His family would have me over a lot. He lives in the Outland. Lives in I'm trying to remember the name of the village. It's a small little village in the 8th ring or something. But forgive me, I'm a little stressed right now.
Of course, dear. Now,
Looking
I
down at Crantor.
believe we can fix this entire situation very quickly. Do you have something, or a scroll, or something along those magical means of a gate spell?
I don't. The gate spell's really intense. I have to get a scroll of it. You gotta know somebody, man. Even
Do you know
Blake
someone?
doesn't have that.
We just came from there. He was lovely.
Yeah, no, he's actually a real nice guy. He's just a better salesman. than I
He's who
am.
helped us with the. Yeah, he's who helped us with the bag.
Mm-hmm.
He's the reason our friends aren't dead.
Does he
After
think that?
you told us.
Does he think I did this on purpose?
Yes.
Well,
Roll a deception check. Crantor, roll a deception check.
Okay.
Advy,
Done.
remember, he has disadvantage on his
I
insight
know.
because of Hex.
No, insight's a wisdom skill.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will
17.
cast guidance on that, though.
Oh, okay. That's a D4, right?
Yep.
Or actually, no, I don't have guidance. Sorry, that's the other character.
Okay.
My bad.
That's good. 17 anyway, so.
Well, he's why are you lying to me, man? He's such a good sport. He wouldn't say nothing bad about me like that.
Well, you did nearly kill someone.
I didn't.
In front of him.
You're just making fun of me. I'm just enjoying this.
Well, we know our friends are still alive, but I feel some compensation would be in order, so we can maybe get a gate spell. Perhaps a trade?
Well, for starters, I'll give you. I'll give you an actual bag of holding, assuming they're all not like that. Give me a real one first off to make
We're
up
probably
for it.
good. How about a couple rings that maybe I can trade for something nice?
Yeah, sure. No, this is messed up, man. You come barging into my shop, accusing me of trying to kill your friends because of something out of my control, and then you're gonna try and bargain? Is this what you wanted the whole time, man? Now you're telling
Lifts
me
him up
lies?
again. Higher.
I'm sure the courts would not see it that way, given you are responsible for your own merchandise.
This is the heavens.
Deis.
They have common sense. Do you?
Deis.
Hmm?
Cassius begins to speak up. Now's not the time to be bargaining. He looks over to the halfling, but you, from this point forward, you will identify every last good you have. And if I hear one word that you sell one shady good, I will be back. And the fury of Avernus will be coming with me. And he'll turn around and walk out.
In his other hand, he'll just grab one of the other bags of holding.
Nobody ever
He was
went
trying
to
to
the
give a-
back room to get them.
Okay, never mind then. He'll retract that, put him down, says, go and get one of the bags of holding, and identify it first to make sure it's legitimate.
Why my friend does it for me, I had to make...
So Deis, do you have that?
He'd give me a contraption for it, but it kind of broke. I'm no artificer, so I ain't fixing nothing.
Sadly,
Do you have
no.
mending?
No, I don't have that one either. I just buy new things.
Really need nothing
Money is
right
its
now.
own magic.
Literally every spell
Fine.
Crantor's needed cast. No, not there to do it.
Right? Crantor is crippled without Naleek. Fine. We will come back with someone to identify. In the meantime...
I'm imagining there's
No.
guards on the way.
And he starts to stand back up. No.
Oh.
No, you aren't just walking out like this. He looks back up to
I
you.
rolled a nat 20 intimidation
I can't see.
on him
Oh, I didn't.
in the chat.
What are you intimidating him over?
Just for flavor as we're walking out in the meet, just to make him piss his pants, essentially.
Or to not say anything.
Yeah, no, and he goes, hey, you know, my friend, and then sees your look, and then he just puts his head down and meanders over to the one remaining feather of the parrot.
Oh yeah,
Did you
Kobold,
kill this guy's parrot?
Straight up. No, they and they don't even feel
Killed the guy's parrot.
remorselessly. To this moment, they have yet to express any form of remorse out of character for this.
I am very remorseful out of character. I did not want the bird to die.
Why did you kill
It was being
parrot?
loud.
I had no intention. I intentionally summoned my pact weapon and put it on my back so that it was not in my hand.
No, wait, how did the parrot die?
Eldritch
Deis-
Blast.
Yeah, 3 Eldritch Blasts to the one parrot.
They weren't mine.
Eldritch Blast on the parrot?
Because
It was screeching.
It was screeching out intruders. Speaking of, guys, on your way out, Cassius already saw this because he walked out first. You walked out, and there are 4 holy knights standing near the doorway. So, what's all that hollering about? And that's where we're going to cut on over to the Astral.
Wow, this is way too perfect.
You have no fucking idea. That's why I'm like, oh. We cut back over. Arudim, almost all in an instant, you saw Naleek get sucked into this bag in front of you guys as you were looking about the armors and such. And you saw Naleek get sucked into the bag, and immediately you noticed it, as this was something the Arcanoloth tried to pull on you. And you immediately dive, knowing you're either getting sucked in there with him, or you're pulling Naleek out, because that's the only way Naleek isn't going to definitively die. And sure enough, you get sucked into it too. And just as you're thinking, welp, all of a sudden, the black around you starts to amass and split out. Start to see almost spread into a thin haze of fog, making a ring in the distance around you as there are what resembles stars specking off of those very rings. Your distance, you recognize this just as you guys were on your way to Avernus. Occasionally see fog and such drifting in front of you and around you, and it's very jarring because you can't tell how close or far any of it really is, but sure enough, just about 20-30 feet away from you, floating is Naleek, kind of looking around. So just call out to you.
Can we speak?
Yes, you can. And he's going to call out to you. He's like, Arudim, come here. Just come here. Nothing else. He kind of starts to drift towards you.
Arudim will, for a moment he attempts to walk, but realizes he's kind of floating weightlessly. Huh. And he just looks at Naleek drifting and he's like, okay. So he kind of moves his feet instinctively, but he thinks about moving towards Naleek.
And sure enough, he starts to drift towards Naleek. Good. And it comes in, grabs you by the forearm just so you guys stay. Okay. We need to collect our thoughts and fast. Otherwise, we can end up spending too much time here.
Good news is, I've avoided this once before. Bad news is, I didn't think it would get me again.
It's all happened so fast. We can't think about it right now. We'll get lost. And just then and there, you'll see Naleek's face kind of go blank, almost, and he just looks down.
Arudim smacks him in the face. Hey!
Doesn't react for a moment. Sorry, I just got a sending from Deis, and I responded.
Sorry, I'd never been here before. I didn't know if it was...
You have. You guys went through the astral plane on the way to Avernus.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Arudim basically forgetting half of the trip to Avernus.
Because it was so quick, but apparently was 2 months long.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, more accurately, 5 to 6 weeks, but still, 2 months sounds worse.
Almost 2 months of astral bullshit.
All right, he says, okay, Deis said that you're going to try and find a way to get us back, but I told her to leave it to us. You're going to have to do
I assume you have a way to get us back?
Everyone has a way to get where they're going in the astral plane. It's just a matter of how concentrated your efforts are. Want to go to Celestia. Just want it.
We just need to will it into existence?
Yes and no. Theoretically, yes, those words apply, but that's not exactly what we're doing. It's more accurately that we're willing ourselves to the location of Celestia. What we're going to do is...
So the astral plane moves us based on our thoughts and our want.
Yes. And while it is infinite, it is relatively easy to reach a destination if you are focused enough.
Very well. My recent meditation should help with this.
Meditation?
Yes. Before I accepted this job, I've been perusing, finding books and things on how to channel one's soul into a power source. I found an old temple, abandoned, and I picked up some books. I've been reading them every day, except while we were in Avernus, of course.
Naleek's he's not very responsive, as he's kind of looking forward now, holding you by the arm and kind of drifting. And I need you to make me an intelligence check with disadvantage.
Oh no. Oh great, my second worst stat, which is hilarious to me. He's wise, he's not smart.
Please have something.
Actually, let me double check if I have, this is just an intelligence check, right?
Yes, just an intelligence check.
I think, do I have anything that'll... Nope, just perception and survival. I can add a d4 to it, but I can't do that here. Don't have any spells to help with this.
Have something!
Is it an intelligence saving throw?
Mm-mm. It's a check.
Fuck, I'm proficient in saving throws. Just a check, huh? You sure?
Trust me, man, if I was any less sure, then I would have just given Naleek advantage.
Would this necklace of Misty Step help at all, or no?
Not in the slightest, I'm afraid.
Well, that's frustrating. Thing is, I'm more of a street smart kind of person.
Focus. And this is why the check is with disadvantage.
Okay.
I hear it's...
Okay, I'm breaking out the old 1d20, my yellow and green beautiful baby.
Like those colors.
So that is a 19 plus 1, unnatural 20!
Natural 20. You're, funny enough, you, with all of the stray thoughts, are distracting him from his focus, as you are relatively focused just fine, because you seem to be able to think about multiple things at once, unlike Naleek.
Artem's just like, alright, remember the books. Remember the books. Breathe in, feel the life inside of you, and focus.
You guys drift for a few moments, and as you start to drift, all of a sudden, see a flash. Some of the haze ahead of you. That haze starts to have more bulk to it. You start to realize, as you look upon it, it's a storm.
I calmly think to avoid it.
Naleek's like, backwards. In fact, Naleek turns around and pulling your arm, just starts thinking, I need you to make me one more intelligence check. Chemistry.
Okay.
It's a different die, Naleek. Or I'm angry at you.
Well, that's unfortunate. That's a natural 1.
So, Arudim and Naleek started to realize as the area around them darkened a little, saw a flash in front of them that they were about to be caught up in a astral storm of sorts. And so you guys hastily spun your butts around and tried to outrun it. And as you start to move forward, you start to notice your propulsion slow. And then all of a sudden, hits you inside your head as you guys just kind of both start spiraling out of control from where you guys are. And I will say, actually no, at this point. 1 second, roll this damage. I can only digital roll.
Oh no! It's been a long day!
Alrighty. Wow, that was a good roll. You both take...
I'm getting damage!
I'm afraid you would not see this coming. The impact
You
of
never
it. Because this is
coming!
58 psychic damage to the both of you.
Oh, fuck!
As you guys...
Oh, man!
As your ears are ringing and you realize now you're kind of just... You're disoriented as your visual is spiraling and you look around and you only vaguely see the little brown speck that you would only guess is Naleek. You guys relatively have a lot of distance, so you kind of both are kind of spiraling out now. And you see Naleek come to a stop, a little bit in a spiraling motion, and stunned.
Oh my god.
And make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay. I'm proficient in that.
Try and subside the stunned effect. Let's see how this goes for you, lad.
Come on, OG dice. Okay. It could be so much worse. To be fair.
Absolutely.
15 intelligence saving?
You're starting to feel the ringing subside a little bit, but at this point you realize that you kind of just have to stop where you're at and focus on not moving so you can get your ears back on, and before you know it, you've collected yourself again. But look up, and Naleek is nowhere in sight.
Aw, shit. Okay.
And then all of a sudden, in your ears, hey, are you okay, Arudim? It's ascending from... Are you okay, Arudim? I was drifted off a little bit in the astral sea, but if we both just focus on Celestia, you think about nothing else but Celestia, I feel like we can get there. Just don't distract yourself, don't think about anything else.
I shouldn't think about you so we end up in the same place?
I don't think that's how that will work, because we're not a location.
You're more experienced in this than I, so I'll take your word for it. Okay, so since he didn't respond to the second sending spell, can I say one last thing to him?
No, he sent that second sending spell. So your response was the response to the second one.
Oh, okay. All right. So, do I make this throw with disadvantage again, or just a straight roll for an intelligence?
What is Arudim doing?
Arudim is staying still, and he's closing his eyes, and he's trying to focus on Celestia and nothing else. Specifically where he was in Celestia, because he doesn't know what the rest of Celestia looks like.
You begin to drift. Not too much time. Feels like it passes before.
Another storm cloud.
Don't give me ideas. Just
Level
trying to
are we?
remember.
We're level fucking 13.
You start coming up on what looks like a floating pool of gold water. Start to approach it almost rapidly, and you see the vague imagery of Lunia's cities in the backdrop as you start to fade into this gold. And before you know it, you're looking at the city almost from a skyward view because you're falling into the ocean. Holy shit! And you sploosh into the water not too far from the surface, roughly 15, 20 feet. And you are not too far submerged under the water before you hit the ground, indicating you're close to the shore. And you re-emerge on the surface of this red wine-colored water. It is sweet, and you feel the holy in it. It is literal a ocean of holy water. As you look up on the coastline of the many Lunian cities, looks like it'd only be a roughly 30-second to 1 minute swim for you from where you're at. The internal glistening once more.
He looks around immediately and tries to see if he can see Naleek anywhere, or the portal he just came out of.
There is no portal, and you do not see Naleek. You instead see a few sea elves in the distance peeking out over the water, pop at you, and then dipping underneath as soon as you look in their direction.
Oh, Arudim, you did always want to swim in the fanciest places. And he starts making his way towards the shore as fast as he can.
Alrighty. And that is where we are going to go to the lads in question. Crantor.
In the name of the law.
Crantor, Deis, as you exit Jortix's place. I was about to go for the full name, no need. As you exit Jortix's...
No, you need to do the full thing. Oh, God.
As you exit Jortix, Glitterfingers, Glitter Diggles, his jingling dangles worth digging, you see four, in fact, holy knights standing outside the building, looking down upon Cassius as you walk out and say, "Oh, are these the other intruders?" You hear Celestial Crantor.
Important question. Are they bigger than me?
Only one of them is close to your height. They are roughly 6'5" or so. They are, in fact, a human, but they have somewhat glowing hair and eyes, and they do not have a helmet on in their otherwise full plate armor, whereas the rest of the three do. And they are much shorter, ranging from 5'2" to 5'11". Obviously, the shortest one being a dwarf.
Then Crantor will not make any appearance of kind of humility towards them, just kind of full-on bravado and swagger.
I'm assuming at this point Cassius already would have been trying to talk to them.
Yeah, I imagine Cassius is probably well... You're trying to find what he's going to say.
Well, Cassius always tries to play it cool.
Yeah.
He'd be like, all right, listen, I know what it looks like, but I can explain, and we have a witness, a credible one. 2 of me friends nearly died, and this guy was responsible for it. Are you willing to hear me out?
George.
I know what I look like.
Dwarf's like, you do realize he's been selling goods here for a century now.
And he's lived that long?
He sold some bad goods to us. We were having a discussion about it.
Indeed, the matter has been solved. There's no problems.
You know what? You don't have to. Cassius will point to the tower. Why don't all of us go down there? You can ask, what was his name? The lion.
Oh, God, it started with a G. Dream something.
Dream Lake?
Dream Lake, yeah. That's the one.
The dwarf said,
you can ask him, because it weren't for him, my friends would be dead. They're lost in the astral plane right now.
Yes, he sold us a bag.
So why don't we go down there and ask him what he saw?
They're kind of looking at each other and just...
Cassius will hold out both of his hands. Cassius will hold out both of his hands, palms up. You can put me in manacles if you don't believe me, mate.
I'm sure that won't be necessary. We're cooperating.
Indeed, and it would seem quite inappropriate to shackle a priestess of Ion here on Celestia.
Or a champion of Heracles. I'm sure we don't need to...
The human steps up and looks over to you. Sounded pretty nefarious in there for individuals acting in part of God.
Given the man was nearly responsible for 2 human lives, and he was quite ignorant.
How dare you call me human? I'm half human.
You're not here to
defend it. I think they're both half humans.
Okay.
Humanoids.
It's like 2.5 men, but a human in 2 halves.
They're still very skeptical of the situation. I don't know. You see, you have conviction. Whoa. Everything. Who was that?
Not my end.
Kobold?
Wasn't me.
Kobold, you there? Castor?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Was that thud on your end?
I don't know what thud you're talking about, but my computer is acting really strangely right now.
No, we heard like a did everyone else hear
Actual.
it? Yeah.
I heard it too.
Thud.
Kobold, are you there?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
Oh. That's weird.
Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah,
Yep.
as long as everyone's okay.
Everyone
So, yeah,
check your
can she-
surroundings, 5-point room check.
So yes, they
So
like,
persuasion check, perhaps?
no.
Not to get arrested?
Wow, you just got
Crantor would like to assist.
go ahead, suppose, but they're looking like have their mindset is they're kind of like looking at each other, nodding, like mouthing some words to one another.
I'm guessing with his help, it's not going to be a disadvantage, at least just a
Yes.
straight roll.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, come on. Don't you dare.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh, roll 20's liking me today for once.
Like, all right, so fine. Go down to the Ninth Life, have a chat with Dreamlake. Decide from there what we want to do. You two stay here and get Jortix's story. As the knights start leading you all through the city, and at this point, you guys are catching a lot of eyes. It's
Yeah, she'll be swaying her hips full diva, like just loving the attention.
walking through. Everyone's staring, like almost concerned because it's rare that knights are ever aggressively escorting people through a city in Celestia.
Yeah, Crantor's going to have his head up high. He's not even going to let this bother him. Going to put on a face of like, nope, everything's fine. This is exactly how I want it to go. I'm in control. Mm-hmm.
There's something really wrong with the audio on my PC, and I'm hearing absolutely nothing.
You're not hearing any of us?
Not on my PC, no.
Weird.
It's odd. No worries. If we need to finish the session like this, we're honestly... Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be ending a little early. You still work on it on your end if you want to. By all means, I welcome it. But I wouldn't say to stress over it right now. Like I said, we're
All right.
within the hour of the end.
I'm going to at least try rebooting my computer and seeing if that helps.
Fortunately, you're not in Roll20 to do. If need be, I can act as your body and roll whatever rolls you need to. I'll just switch over to Cassius really quick when I do the roll, so it still says Cassius did the roll. We'll make it work. Strut with the fire. Oh, that's so good. All right, so are you good, dude?
Yeah, I'm at least listening right now.
Okay, so I can just open it up and switch over. In fact, you know what? I'll even just Naleek's not. So I'm just gonna do
Well,
this.
that's reassuring.
Well, you're not here
Yeah,
right
that's
now
fine, guys.
either. Nothing says Arudim showed up at this very moment.
Oh, yeah, I know, but like, look, man. Look, man.
So I can't believe I got a nat 20 right when I
That
needed
was so clutch.
It really. That was I'm like no, because the thing is, I rolled a 19 on the die, and this cop was countering was countering your persuasion with an intimidation.
it. Oh,
+9 modifier, baby. That was a 28.
the only way I could have passed that. Jeez.
Oh,
Actually,
man.
no, if I rolled a 19, I would have beat him by 1.
Yeah, no. If you rolled a 17 or higher, you would have matched them. But you would have matched or beat them. But yes, as we can clarify for Castor's sake, you guys are all traveling down the street towards the Ninth Life, and you guys are actually getting a lot of concerned gazes from the civilians and other knights down the roads, as this is almost a very foreign sight to them, seeing people aggressively escorted by knights. And you guys eventually make your way to the Ninth Life, and they enter in very unceremoniously, walk in, and the larger of the two, this is pretty much just the human and the dwarf, the tall human. Hey, Dreamlake, we have questions for you. And almost to remind you of Arudim, Dreamlake is standing behind you both. Deis and you three, Deis, Crantor, and him.
Whoa, how'd you get back there?
This is my domain. How can I help you, knights? Well, these individuals here to question, they were just heard interrogating Jortix. And Dreamlake kind of turns around to you guys, and almost like a confounded look, like, interrogate?
Aggressively discussing something.
We had a complaint about his customer service.
Oh dear. Well, that complaint was a very loud complaint. Things were rustled out here in the shop. I go in. My other two men are currently handling that situation. But as it stands right now, these three aren't looking very innocent. And that is saying something, considering where we are. He's kind of looking at you all as he does that sentence.
Is that because he's a tiefling?
Big oof.
There are many tiefling on this plane.
Yeah, but to be fair, I am descended directly from an archdevil.
Interesting.
They don't need to know that.
We do know that now. And it's not helping your case. But the fact that you were so bold in saying so does stand up for your innocence, tad.
I told you I have nothing to hide.
That doesn't necessarily prove your innocence. You see, there was infernal activity detected earlier, which is why we were out patrolling like we are. Seems there was an unwelcome visitor. Rakiel themselves felt it. This is not a matter of you being a tiefling, but perhaps a matter of your connections.
Does it detect spells in use, or an actual receiving creature?
What? Like almost like
you said you said you detected infernal influence. Does it mean simply a spell, or something coming to Celestia? Jeez.
It detects, for a lack of a better term, it scales the energy, I suppose would be a best way to put it, of an individual, specifically of a certain type. And this individual has influence of at least a greater devil or higher. And this boy here, looks to me in the eye and tells me, kin of Zariel. So this tells me that all I have to do is put two and two together.
Most of I ain't had nothing to do with that. But here's the thing. We did just get back from Avernus. And I don't mind talking to you all night about everything that happened. You can use Zone of Truth and know that I am telling every word of it to be a fact.
You know, here's where I'm having trouble understanding, is even if we get down to the point where you are completely honest, everything you're saying is true, that doesn't justify your actions earlier. There was yelling and crying that could be heard from the streets several buildings down. We were called on by Jortix's neighbors. You all were terrorizing him in there, for all we know. And that's where you fall silent. I see. This is where we found guilty of. Thank you, Dreamlake.
What we're guilty of is trying to figure out what happened to our friends and why they were sucked into a bag of devouring that was given to us from Jortix himself. For free, I might add.
I believe my whole point was that we come down here to get his testimony.
He's going to roll an insight check on you, Crantor. I would say roll a persuasion check.
That is going to be a 17.
Okay, then yeah, you ultimately convinced to do so.
And he'll look at Dreamlake. Was that not what happened?
I don't know so much about it just being given to you free, nor do I know the circumstances. Again, I'm withholding my judgments on Jortix. I just don't want to say it's so.
But were they not... did they not get swallowed into the bag?
100%. I slashed the bag in half myself, so it would send them into the astral plane.
He'll just look back at them like, see?
Seem to be misunderstanding point of guilt. Seem to be thinking that your actions are justified because of the circumstances. I don't know where you're from. It's obviously not Celestia. But understand the order, this mountain, this layer. Understand that you, as of right now, terrorized an innocent man with nothing more than accusations. If this is proven to be true, that will be different. But it is yet to be proven true that this was done with malicious intent. More so, why didn't you make a report? We've seen you walk up and down the street all day. Any one of you could have stopped any one of us and stated, this is what happened, this is what we think happened. And we could have looked into this in a much more organized manner. This is the problem with primed walkers. They just have been thinking they can act the vigilante and get away with it.
You're correct. We could have and should have, and we do formally apologize for that and our actions on this. We went to determine whether or not it was done with malicious intent, and we should have let that handled to the authorities.
Looks over to Cassius. What about you, Mouthy? You got pretty quiet.
By the way, out of character, I am intentionally not speaking because I know the mic quality is bad, and B, it is, having to adjust the audio volume. I'm waiting on my PC and very, very concerned for my $2,000 gaming PC. Cassius just kind of points over to Crantor. I'm with him on this one. I told you before, mate. I've got nothing to hide. I've told you exactly as it was. Did I act in accordance with my instincts? Absolutely. It's what I've had to do my whole life. First time I've ever been here, I'm not exactly accustomed to your ways. I apologize if there was any insult or if there was any, laws broken. But at the same time, 2 of my friends nearly lost their lives. Comrades in arms. People who have saved my life. And on top of that, my friend there was contacted by a certain infernal being whom I have a grudge with.
Which is most likely the source of what you were
his eyebrow.
Feel like.
Sorry, continue.
I was going to say that's most likely the source of your infernal radar. There was a.
I'm gonna roll an insight check on you again.
Persuasion?
I'll say no need to roll. A little unsure though.
Now, I don't know what exactly transpired between my friend here and the presence, but something was left, and it was meant intently for him. And now, judging by his reaction, and what else I've seen of this man, I can only imagine it's not that good. An infernal contract. Are you familiar with how we do those?
I know of him.
Well, this particular individual seems to think that he's a bit above everyone else.
Any devils do.
I mean, you're not wrong, to be perfectly honest. But beside the point, he's a leader of some sort of criminal organization. What was that name?
Vesnionza.
That was it. Cute.
Oh, his eyes wide. He's like, Vesnionza. And he immediately puts his 2 fingers to his ears and just looks down and starts mouthing words like he's using a sending spell.
Crantor, you think it'd be a good idea to show him the letter?
He will. He's not happy about it, but he's clearly not his choice to do it, but he will.
Well, I'm not going to be able to take it. I can hold it, but I don't need to. And look, this isn't going to be helpful to track him, but it looks like you got yourself in a pickle. Tells me that you're in a position where you have to sign this but cannot.
Yes. It appeared to me right before we walked into Jortix's. That's what happened right before, and that's probably what alerted you to us.
My concern is...
He is orchestrating events to slow us down and force us.
Now, bear in mind, I am not saying that this is an excuse for what happened in there.
No.
But that is what fueled my anger. Just gonna put that out there.
I need to clarify something. Are you speaking of a Zevel associated with Vesnionza? Are you speaking of the leader of Vesnionza?
Rakshasa with Vesnionza, Coastal the Damning?
He brings his hand up above his eyes. Who led a trail to Celestia?
Unintentionally.
Of course it's unintentionally. Sly like that. We've tried so many times. Keep him off of this plane. And you see now the dwarf, who's kind of been silent, looking up to the human, and the dwarf, who's been like very confident and proud, starts to kind of like get a little meekish as he's looking up at the human. He's like astonished at this person acting this way. They've never seen their partner behave in this manner, who is the senior in the fleet.
If it makes you feel any better, I doubt it was him himself. It was most likely a lackey of his.
It's not my
concern. But he is who this comes from.
This means that he knows how to get here. There's been a lot of specific events that have gone into place to prevent him from having access to Celestia in any regard. And that is because he has found multiple ways to get here anyway. This is no devil, honestly. I wish you were dealing with him.
As do we.
The dwarf finally speaks up. Boss, what do you know about this guy? He looks up to you, almost ignoring his partner. I'm sorry that you were put in this position looking down at this contract. I'm sure there's somebody here in Celestia who would be able to nullify a signed contract, but I couldn't tell you for sure. I know a lot of adventurers who have signed contracts with devils in the past have come here to Celestia to try and find someone who can get them out of this contract, a holy lawyer, if you. But it doesn't work like that. It's not that simple. You're signing a piece of your soul to a contract, as is someone else. Essentially, the contract going good or bad essentially decides who that essence goes to. That's the best way I can explain it. Dwarf's like, that sounds like a bunch of... And it sounds like that to me, too. That's what Jaria said. And the dwarf just goes silent and kind of looks down again. The knight will speak. You look at, like, extra eye to Deis.
I'd better just pick up her hand, just like, wave, hello.
I think the last thing that you all should do, apologize to Jortix personally. I need to go back there to meet up with my men anyway, so I suppose we should all make haste.
Very well.
Thank you once again, Dream. I do apologize for the injury. Not at all. I'm clear the name of some fine pages. slowly stroll to the corridor and start walking up the wall out of sight. You guys make your way out and start heading back down to Jortix's once more. Up and down the road you go as you guys continue up down this road for maybe the 5th time today. Yeah, the 5th time today.
Probably.
And that's when we're going to Arudim.
Oh no.
Arudim, as you swim through this sweet holy water that is red and splashing up on the sand that is slightly dyed from said water, you make your way up onto the shore, distantly seeing sea elves, almost mermaid-like, peering out over the water and sitting atop of rocks. You look out into the vast ocean that has the silvery glisten coming from the illuminating starry sky. You look back over to the shore and you see the cities in both directions, but not really in front of you. You see more so natural passage to go up the mountain. Various cliff sides and trails as you look up and more until it starts to disappear beyond the clouds and you cannot see the top.
Alright then. He, drags himself out of the water, or whatever this is.
Yes, it is most definitely water. It washes off clean, holy. I will say sweet. You know it's sweet because it got into your mouth a few times as you splashed and swam.
He bottles some of it.
It's holy water. Got a bottle of holy water now.
Wait, for real?
For real.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, that could be really useful.
However, I will say if Arudim's going to be someone who's going to bottle things and such often, I need you to go out of your way to have a finite amount of empty containers and such, which you can fill things with. We'll say for now you got a jar. Just saying, you won't always have a jar. You could just fill up 20
I gotta buy more jars!
And now I got 20. Oh, if that's the case, then I just fill up 20 jars of these things. No.
No, I need to buy more jars. A jar of holy water. That seems like that could come in handy later. Might as well. Okay. You've been through worse. And he holds his head from all the psychic damage. You've been through worse. You got this. You're fine. Naleek's fine. Okay, that's a lot farther than I thought it would be. He does a few stretches. You're only half dead, Arudim. You're only half dead. And he just starts running.
You just start sprinting. Which direction are you sprinting? Left or right or up?
Do I recognize either of the two cities?
I mean, you haven't been on the plane enough to really discern it. It kind of all looks samey to you. I mean, if you want, I will say you can roll a nature check with disadvantage.
Nature, eh? Not survival?
Nah, it's gonna be nature.
Curses. Well, at least I'm proficient in that. That was my weird one, I think.
We keep forgetting, and I keep...
Natural 20! Wait, no, disadvantage. Fuck!
Let's see what's your result.
5 plus 6, 11.
Oh my gosh. You can't really tell the difference between these two cities because you appeared inside of it. Well, that really gives you a hard... You never saw the plane
that's
from this
fair.
perspective.
That's totally fair. He just looks at them both. He just goes, "Get it." He's just gonna go up. Fuck it.
Okay, you start going up the sandy shore as you.
And question. Let me see here. I've got some key shit I could do because I'm a level 2 monk.
Do you have key? Oh yes.
I am going to spend a key point and activate Step of the Wind.
For the jump distance. Oh. Yes,
for the jump distance.
That helps a lot because you see that you could go, the sand leads you to the path that kind of goes through 2 small cliffs. You just jump up to the top of that cliff and start going up that cliff. You jump a few cliff sides so you start getting towards more elevated portions of the mountain where the wildlife is still sprouting wondrously. Somehow you see the healthy grass and bushes and trees start getting a little bit higher on the mountain. Almost as if they actually have sunlight to use photosynthesis with, but they don't. So it's almost these are almost moonflowers in a way.
The moonflower prefers partial shade.
You look across and you start to see now that a lot of the spires of the city spanning out from the perspective that you have atop the mountain, and you realize, despite some of the myths that you may have heard, Celestia is one mountain. and you realize that you can only see so much of the layer from your perspective as you see what you can maybe estimate to be 3 or 4 cities spanning across in either direction. But what was the right, now the left because you've turned around to look, there is more civilization grouped in that direction. Whereas the city off to the other side looks a little bit smaller and has a little bit of a wall around it. It is square. It is slightly square. In fact, that small city you can see, it has a very thin, straight river that through the center of the sea itself. From the ocean. You see very faintly from your distance some very small winged creatures lining the wall of the city. The wall is not too tall, however, and where the bay is, there is no wall, so it's almost as if like the wall is more so for decoration than defense.
Question.
Yeah.
I would like to test something with my necklace of Misty Step.
Alrighty.
Is there a nearby cliff face that I could teleport onto?
Yes, I will say from your angle that there is a cliff face that is a diagonal angle upwards. You would not be able to clear with a leap, and you would have to kind of get off of the elevation that you have and go back over to the paths to eventually get to that side. But that Misty Step, maybe if you were to jump towards it in Misty Step, work out just fine.
He wants to test if Misty Stepping can break a fall.
That's interesting. Okay, in that case, then you would want to...
So what he's going to do is he's going to stand on the platform he's on now. He is going to jump off the platform, and as soon as he is at 10 feet at the range of where he was, he is going to Misty Step back onto it just a foot above it to see if it cancels his momentum at all.
You warp, and all of a sudden you feel on your back, and take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you crash onto the platform you were just standing on.
Okay, it does not cancel my momentum. Okay, good to know.
In a desperate moment, that could have been much more dire.
Oh yeah, see, this is Arudim. He doesn't really know that much about magic, but he's very curious about the limitations.
Very methodical.
He literally just got this necklace and it said, yeah, it can teleport you. And he's like, what are the limits of this teleporting?
Yeah, no, exactly. He's very methodical. He likes to break things down, truly understand the reaches and limitations of it.
He's the light Yagami of magic items.
He's not a magician.
What are the limits of the Death Note?
He's a physicist.
I mean, in a way, yeah. He wants to know what he's working with. So he's like, well, that was a lesson worth it. Looks around. Do I have anything in my inventory that could help? I'm going to take out one of my extra daggers, and one of the ones I haven't used. I'm going to polish it up real nice, and I'm going to compare it to the Infernal dagger just in case. Which one is shinier?
Your dagger is definitely shinier. The Infernal dagger, however, is slightly larger. It has a firmer grip, and it also seems to be lighter for your own dagger.
He is going to use both of them because he could use one in each hand. Why not? He's going to try to get lower down to the city, like around like the cliff faces. See if he can get some guards' attention by doing light signals from where he is. By reflecting the light off of his weapons. If my thieves' tools have a mirror on it, I'll use that too. I don't think it would. I mean, maybe it would.
You have yet to specify which city side you're going to.
I'll go towards the smaller one, the one on my right.
Okay. All right, then, yeah. So you move down towards it eventually. You say roughly 45 minutes or so passes as you're scaling down carefully to try and get closer to the city while also ascending, and eventually you will see, a few flying individuals, mostly with angel wings. One of the ones that will catch your eye the most, flying by with the head of a lion. They're kind of circling the city. See you more individuals like that. Initially, you notice others of the similar sort perched across the wall, miles and miles away from you.
That's dope as hell. Do they seem like they're sentient, or do they seem more animalistic, flying around, like looking for food?
Oh, they seem very intelligent. They're not doing some sort of specific flight pattern. They're swooping up and down the streets, and like towards the end, there's actually a couple of those very individuals. Like opposite corner of the city, they're kind of just like swooping in some erratic patterns. So it almost looks like they're playing.
Oh, Arudim thinking like, I wonder what normal games children played.
as you're getting lost in these thoughts, looking down on the ant-sized people wandering through the streets of this town, hear a voice right next to you. So, have you been to Heartsfaith before?
Oh God, is that what people do when I do that? Oh God.
And you'll look over and you're gonna see it's a Quickling, a very familiar Quickling.
A Quickling?
Yes, the Quickling that you saw in the tavern just last night with the sailors, the orcs.
Shit! The dude, bro!
Yeah.
My fellow broskies.
They literally were just seen like, oh man, that's the best part, because to the other players, they just saw this characters like an hour ago.
Arudim just... Oh, thank God, it's a familiar face of some kind. It's good to see you again.
Thanks. I guess, you were one of the more quiet ones.
Yes, my apologies. About that, my friends and I, we had left the tavern and we went to the shopping district and, well, long story short, I believe there was some sort of misunderstanding or maybe some treachery. I'm not sure.
Whoa, what you giving me your whole life story for, man? Aren't you the one who's hanging out with the prissy
and just puts a hand on his shoulder. I need some help. I am very lost.
And he kind of looks up the mountainside, and you'll see on like separate cliffs, you'll see the 3 other orcs. And slightly different
Arudim in Orcish just goes, "What's up?"
And here, like, you go, sup, hello.
Hello! Orcish call. Okay, it's canon. That is the Orcish songs and hymns that Arudim learned as a child. It's just the Halo theme. It's just the Halo theme. Arudim just looks at him. I got thrown into a bag of devouring. Long story short, made my way through the astral plane, got hit by a storm, found my way back here, landed in the water, climbed this mountain. I'm lost. I don't know where the hell I'm going.
Wait. And the Quicken looks up and talking in Orcish. Wasn't he was with the prissy chick, right? So that means that Tiefling freaking out a couple of days ago was about him? And they're like kind of shrugging, and then one of them just nods yes.
Tiefling, a couple of days ago? Yeah, I was with the Tiefling.
But
what did he do?
As far as you were aware, you only spent the one night on Celestia. It should have been like 12 hours.
Yeah, no, just Arudim. First of all, Deis, and second of all, what did he do? God damn it, Advy, quit messing with time. To be fair, I was in the astral plane for like a couple minutes, which last time was months. I'm lucky it's days.
Thank you. I appreciate your perspective, Kobold. Your very forgiving perspective. The orcs are a couple of days ago, Prissy was just drinking some coffee. Tiefling barged in, seemed real antsy.
Yeah, that sounds like him. Do you know where they went?
No, yeah. They left the tavern.
Insight!
Go ahead.
12.
They kind of shorted their answers right there, so you're not sure if they just were fumbling over their words or if they were to deceive you.
Arudim decides. In Orcish, he looks up to the orc. Good hunting, and he's just going to go down to the city.
We're not hunting. We're on a pilgrimage.
What are you doing? A pilgrimage?
The Quickling looks back to you. We want to be's good. And the orc's like, we hope to find the sun here on Celestia. The female, the lady orc next to them looks over and is like, we're trying to scale the mountain. Next layer is Mercuria, which is kind of the antithesis of Lunia, in the sense that it's always daytime. We're trying to become better people.
What purpose of you doing this?
Enlightenment, says the very bold and brash orc. We've recently come to learn just how small and insignificant we truly are in the grand scheme of things, and I hate that.
Arudim looks at him, and there's just this look of like, fuck yeah. I have recently come to have the same experience. I hate it, and it makes me angry.
Yes, you're so big, and to find out your domain was merely a pond.
To think of yourself as something so little as a speck.
It's unbecoming, but...
it's unworthy.
That's just it. Perhaps we are the unworthy ones. We have yet to reach the next layer. Celestia would allow us if we were deserving.
Arudim looks at his hands. He tightens his grip. He looks down at the city. I have a choice to make. I wish you all the best of luck in your enlightenment. I will soon walk the path myself.
This is good to hear, brother. Do understand. That town, that city there, that is Heart's Faith. That is not the city that we met in previously. Beautisol will be down the coast, opposite direction. That is where you wish to go.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
They nod, turn towards the mountain once more, and they begin scaling quickly. Be good to yourself, man.
You as well. And he hands him a ration.
Hey, and he takes it. He just sprints right up towards the rest of them. Yes.
Arudim sheathes his weapons. He looks over towards where his new destination is and where his idiots are. His favorite idiots, but his idiots nonetheless.
I want to clarify because my wording may have not been that clear. The cities to your left are not Beautisol. The city down below you now at this point is Heart's Fate, and to the right of that would be Beautisol.
Oh, so I went right. I just needed to go more right.
Yes, you can continue going. You can go past Heart's Faith, but you also know that Heart's Faith is where your friends were going, and the implication is you're days in the future now.
That's true. They were going to go here. He's going to go down to Heart's Faith just in case if they already moved on. Considering it's been days, he has been missing for a while. Is there any place where I could see if I could cast a sending? Or pay someone to cast a sending spell?
You will have to look once you get down to the city. You scale down the mountain, and you eventually move your way over to the center path that actually leads down towards the river, which links to the ocean. That leads through the center of it. You make your way down, and that is where we'll end the session.
Ooh.
Oh man! Wow, this session really came around. I'm so happy for that. I hyped up the session so much.
So, allow me to ask, how do you want to do next session in terms of, are you going to go over the days of them, I assume?
At this point, that seems like the best course of action, which is kind of what I was setting up towards. The idea was, originally, if you weren't going to be here the entire session, you would be in the situation that Naleek is in right now, which is unknown. And we would have kept it that way, and throughout the next week as well. Because yes, just heads up for everybody, next session, full session this time. Kobold will not be, I will leave him to explain what he wants to explain about.
My mother is having surgery next week, so unfortunately I will not be able to attend, so ironically this works out really well.
Yes, that's what I was saying earlier in the chat, was in my harebrained notes, I saw, looking me right in the face, the solution to this problem. All I needed to do was railroad the first 30 seconds of the session.
You had to brain.
But it's true.
Big brain moment.
Because I was sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, so how can we do this? Because, yeah, Arudim could have just wandered into another part of the shop, but that's almost lazy, especially with how much hectic shit's going to be going on. Wait, this whole bag thing. What if he just dives for it? Yeah, of course he would. Arcana lock. Oh, wait, that's right. Dream Lake's there. He wouldn't know. He'll just slash it. So then, bam.
Hate to cut you off, Advy, but it's very late for me, and...
Oh, no, absolutely. You head out, bro. I appreciate you sticking it. I was actually trying to end it a little. But
yeah, let's skedaddle, y'all.
That's all right. I get to sleep in tomorrow. All right. Good night, guys. It was great having fun.
Guys. I'm glad I got to join in last minute. Sorry.
Absolutely. No, don't apologize. Great.
And no, we can't hear you, Castor.
Oh no, Castor.
Thankfully, we're finishing up.
Yeah.
His mic's not working now.
Oh. Cool.
All right, so I'm gonna duck out. I'll do a quick plug. Find me Twitch, Twitter, PB Zealous, working on Patreon stuff. We'll be opening it up this month.
Yo.
All right.
Advertise it in the description.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Good night, bud. That's originally that opening scene was just supposed to go. The idea was I was going to have everybody roll initiative. If Naleek was first, he'd be fucked, thankfully, because what's funny is I actually had an initiative started up. I just needed you guys to roll your portions. Naleek had a 4 on it, so he was likely going last. And Dream Lake rolled a nat 20, so theoretically, nobody was going to be going to the astral plane. But unfortunately, that ended up not being the case at all. But less, I think it worked out even better
And that's all we can ever hope. I feel like that keeps happening with this campaign, and I can only be thankful. Karma struck me down every which way. But anyways, folks, we thank you for joining us at home, and we're going to let you go.